King David was old and weak. He could no longer rule Israel. Adonijah, one of his sons, declared himself king and gathered chariots, horsemen, and 50 men to run ahead of him. But the prophet Nathan saw this and went to Bathsheba, Solomon's mother. He said, "Have you heard that Adonijah has made himself king, and David doesn't even know? Go to David and remind him of his promise that Solomon would be king." So Bathsheba went to David, who was lying in bed, and said, "My lord, didn't you promise that Solomon would be king? But now Adonijah has taken the throne." Nathan arrived and confirmed her words. Then David commanded, "Call Zadok the priest, Nathan the prophet, and Benaiah. Take Solomon, put him on my mule, and bring him to Gihon. There, anoint him king over Israel." So they anointed Solomon, and the people rejoiced, shouting, "Long live King Solomon." The sound of their joy shook the earth. Adonijah and his followers heard the noise and became afraid, scattering in fear. Before David died, he told Solomon, "Follow God's ways, keep his commands, and you will succeed in everything you do." Then David passed away and was buried in the city of David. Solomon became king, and his rule was firmly established. Solomon loved the Lord and followed David's teachings. One night, God appeared to him in a dream, saying, "Ask for whatever you want, and I will give it to you." Solomon replied, "Lord, you have made me king in place of my father David, but I am young and inexperienced. Please give me wisdom and understanding to govern your people." God was pleased and said, "Because you asked for wisdom instead of long life, wealth, or the death of your enemies, I will give you wisdom like no one before or after you, and I will also give you wealth and honor beyond any king of your time." One day, 2 women came before Solomon. One said, "This woman and I live in the same house. We both had babies, but during the night, her baby died. She switched our children while I was sleeping, and now she claims the living child is hers." The other woman said, "No, the living child is mine, and the dead one is hers." Solomon said, "Bring me a sword." When they brought it, he said, "Cut the living child in 2, and give each woman half." The first woman cried out, "No, my lord. Give her the child, just don't kill him." But the other said, "Go ahead, divide him." Solomon declared, "Give the baby to the first woman, she is the real mother." The people of Israel marveled at Solomon's wisdom, and saw that God had given him great understanding. Solomon ruled with wisdom and spoke thousands of proverbs and songs. He studied plants, animals, and nature. People from all over the world came to hear his wisdom. He also built the temple of the Lord, a magnificent structure. He sent a request to King Hiram of Tyre, "Send me cedar wood from Lebanon and skilled workers to help build the temple." Hiram agreed and sent the materials and workers. After 7 years, the temple was completed. Solomon stood before the altar and prayed, "Lord, there is no God like you in heaven or on earth. Even the heavens cannot contain you, how much less this temple. But hear my prayer and watch over this house." When he finished praying, fire came down from heaven and consumed the offerings. The glory of the Lord filled the temple, and the people worshipped with awe. But over time, Solomon loved many foreign women: Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Sidonians, and Hittites, despite God's warning not to marry them, for they would turn his heart away from God. And indeed, Solomon's heart drifted, and he built altars for their gods. God was angry and said, "Because you have turned away from me, I will tear the kingdom from you. But for the sake of your father David, I will not do it in your lifetime. I will take it from your son." Solomon ruled Israel for 40 years. Then he died and was buried in the city of David. His son Rehoboam became king after him.